These are the hill tracts that border the Indian subcontinent in the northeast, home to a number of tribes belonging to the Mongoloid race. In the days gone by, beyond the reach of verifiable history, it is believed that waves of migrant people came and settled in this sub-Himalayan region. There are various ethnic groups like the Garos, Mizos, Mikirs, Meithis, Kukis, Khasis and the Nagas. They are very different from the rest of the people of the subcontinent in their appearance, their lifestyles, customs, food and religion. Their traditions and ways of life bear close similarity to those of the peoples of Southeast Asia. The Nagas are one of the largest ethnic groups in the northeast with an estimated population of 3 million. They occupy a contiguous area in the 4 Indian states of Assam, Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland, as well as the northwestern part of Myanmar. This area has been termed as the Naga ancestral lands. The Nagas are a conglomeration of more than 30 tribes, each with its separate language. The Nagas make their villages on hilltops, surrounded by terraced farms. They engage in slash and burn or jhum cultivation. The Naga tribes were nature worshippers. Their religion closely mingled with their social and agricultural practices. They were warlike tribes with customs like head hunting. One important measure of the social status of a man was the number of heads hunted by him. The forests and the land of the village, except the terraced farms and the housing plots, were common property. The family, the clan, the village and the tribe were the units of social and political organization. The political systems among the Naga tribes varied from autocracy to consensus democracy. But the matters of the village were usually decided through a democratic process where the village elders had a crucial say. Women also play an important role in the decision-making process. Naga society continues to be deeply community-based. The whole village contributes to activities like farming, marriages, funerals and customary feasts. The Nagas have always been uninhibited in their choice of food. Hence, their food habits are quite unlike those of the people of the plains. Weaving is a traditional occupation. Each tribe has its own distinctive weaving patterns. In the 19th century and the first part of the 20th century, the Nagas gradually adopted Christianity, which was spread by Western missionaries. Today, 95% of them are Christians. The rest continue to follow animistic tribal religions. While Christianity put an end to practices like head hunting, it also destroyed the rich cultural patterns that had been woven into Naga life through generations. But many traditional rituals, ceremonies and festivals remain in Christianized forms as traces of a time when religion was not separate from the way of life of the community. Naga society has not remained isolated from changes brought about by the outside world. The market economy has replaced the indigenous economic system. At the same time, modern education has considerably westernized the Nagas, especially the younger generation.
This is the Maram tribe. This is the temple family in traditional attire. The fathers of the country.
The Nagas remained largely self-sufficient till the British started encroaching on their territories in the 1830s. The East India Company had begun developing the land bordering the Naga territory in Assam for mining and tea plantation. The Nagas resisted this intrusion with dhows and spears. In 1879, a deputy commissioner of the Naga Hills and his 35 men were killed in Konoma village. This marked the high point of Naga resistance. It was suppressed and the British gained control over 1/3 of the traditional Naga territory. In 1929, the Simon Commission visited India to gauge public opinion on the Indian constitutional progress towards self-administration. While the Indian national leadership boycotted the commission, the Nagas presented a memorandum stating that they did not wish to have anything to do with the people of the plains and wanted to be left alone to develop their own political and constitutional systems.
British malata ne keti bukam hatoga ikeshiki naga club zaununu nagama ko ne British malaka tasa he hete kritatoi hete independent lata toi hekrejo sebota toi.
The British cabinet mission came to India in March 1946 to lay the basis for the transfer of power in consultation with Indian leaders. The Naga National Council submitted a memorandum insisting on the unification of all Naga tribes, local autonomy and a separate electorate. Nehru wrote a letter on August 1, 1946 to the Naga National Council stating that the Naga territory was much too small to stand by itself politically or economically and that it consisted of rather backward people who required considerable help. In 1947, Sir Akbar Haidari succeeded in concluding an agreement with the Naga National Council. The Nagas were to be under the guardianship of India for 10 years, after which their status could be reviewed. The internal administration was to be left with the Naga National Council. But this agreement was never executed. In 1949, disregarding the agreement with the Naga National Council, the Constitution of India declared that the Naga Hills district was a part of India.
Selana Gakwala se di Assam Governor Akbar Haidari kechu heko krida to sa India zel hosa heko se terhar to dele heko dukhi to dele I keche pukhi pusha sasa Gandhi pula keche India chapahi neko dukhi to keche sa susa theje mote potu mote mu abordi India ma bu nagama dukhi keche hansa u kobunu India ma kobu adukhiya pere toy 1947 ha eko Nagam independent ho Nagamari pothe poshorikar se to ho I kechu pise ki ju pesi yun ori pesi le shu pe mo a telegraph pe mo sasa pe India mari British India re pesi wa kechu sukam haiti nu pat te kuchwa de eko.
Under the leadership of A.Z. Fizo, the Nagas began to organize themselves politically and militarily.
And he said that the white government is gone, the black government has come. Now he explained what is going to be. In fact, some of them can be said to be true. For instance, the land will be taxed. They say it being taxed. They saw it being taxed in Assam. This will come to you. They saw agricultural commission going and counting the cows and pigs. So he said, your cows and pigs will be counted and you will be taxed. Well, may be true. He said, you will not be allowed to eat beef. Well, this is what's happening in India today. Cows slaughter will be banned and you will not be allowed to eat pork because of the Muslims. All this the Naga villager had seen across the border. So they believed it. This is independence. Because the land belongs to the people in Nagas. The land belongs to the village. And that is the sacred as far as they are concerned. And if they come to know that this will be taken away, then they will go with anybody.
In a plebiscite conducted by the NNC in 1951, 99% of the voters opted not to join the Indian Union. Nehru wrote to Fizzo that the government of India would never recognize their claim to independence. Fizzo and other leaders were arrested. Later, Fizzo was released and he went into exile in London, where he died in 1990. On 30th March 1953, Nehru came to Kohima with U Nu, the Burmese Prime Minister. The NNC's request to present a memorandum to Nehru was refused. The Nagas walked out of the public meeting angrily. Nehru could meet only the village chiefs and translators gathered there by the local administration. The Indian government sent armed police to capture the NNC leaders who went underground.
So Henny Modi here say they are upesa hazardous hazole de say bona professor hajasi matters.
In 1956, armed forces were sent into the Naga hills to subdue the Naga army which had established control over Kohima. Thus began the Battle of Kohima.
army ko haba pruba mun garche pruba hako patte ko kera hage ba hibadi chano tate la phen ke de mo sidhi ki ke so lu ge ha high school lu gi nu te hanu ha ba je hego ba sa de mo
ego missis japan mamu british ma una ke ya ga ti second hand goes also mostly in the tenimisi edi puya ga so go so di ngo ze ga ya ga ego defense ge ba go so ma class sebo ji ba mon ha ngo ko je do tv tower che ga je lu gi nu ngo raba bu che di kerya bi va so ro ta je te hi bo tu ya na cha hu na zeng kwa ta le so nu ba da ya mo chi di he kwa so nu ja te ke ya ba da ya sia le
yun ja ser da ja po ja ke ne ja se ja dien ti ji ja pe te chin hi I ke bo si di ki be se he ko na ne ba so ja te ha che so si so ba na ga army go ri ta di mo
아까 먹을 때 차차라 그 해라 그저서 무 응고아 그 효과도 키 소를 그람니스 디 시다차라 안 나가마세 빼때 우라 버데 디우라 버디 응고 이제 때 흐치래我这得是吃的，我们살아다죠. mo Nagamar Hosarazo. Therein qua you are Pacaperua there. Tin tenuous was it created?
When the Indian army came to Naga Hills and to Ensang in 1956, they didn't have much reference. They didn't know these people. They could not recognize. There was no way of recognizing who was friendly and who was unfriendly. To them, all the people looked the same. At that time, the Naga army didn't have they didn't wear uniform. They're all guerrillas. They're still guerrillas. So they were oppressive to everybody. Searches, arrests, even killings. They grouped villages and put them together under the watch of an army camp. They were living within barbed wire fence. They could not go out to do their cultivation. Their food stocks ran out. The theory of the very foolish planners was that the gorilla is like fish and the people are like water. If you take the water out, the fish would die. And in that hope, they started gathering people and putting them in what can be called concentration camps.
Before the center took over, it was in 57, took over Naga Hills and Twinsang, the army tried to copy what the British had done in Malaya with the Chinese insurgents. And villages were grouped. That is, they brought the villagers to live together and they were fed, they were given rations, everything, but not allowed to go to their fields. That was grouping. It was terrible for a villager to stay idly there, even though he got his food properly, he was looked after, he was protected. But that was, as soon as center took over, that was given up. But it was done by the army in between the year 55 and 57.
Go for Zuria, Deri, Heko, Nichumako, Didi Sibazi, Maleva, Dere Lakipo, Ukapenofuto Heko, Boledi, Malemo Divataro, to Hekoto Semodi, Latata, Sigatuaka, Siwe. Heko Lakipo, Hekazuti Chata, Hapori, Fusalegans, Renano. Renaka Tewa Mokaba, Nuri Fotori Chanupa Miche, Isigaza Sidio Nonobo, Lakibum Harit Mudayaway. Or a day, Heko Tita, Moheko, Tamoroso, Tadi, Tatsudi, Aranas, Lazami, Deri, Bobo, Toriano, Michilimi, Rena, Nutu, Nano, Onoko Zetu, Pruyapono. Ba, yes, no siri, Baligans, the Talamaki for Wodi, Ta Unonozi, get away. Mo are no he took topper none gets no Benoliway.
In 1963, the Government of India created the state of Nagaland by combining the Naga Hills and Tuinsang. But this was only a third of the total Naga traditional lands. The rest of the Naga lands remained in Manipur, Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. The Naga territories in Manipur lie in Tamenglong, Senapati, Ukhrul and Chandel. The unification of these Naga lands has been a cherished goal of the Naga movement. The creation of the state of Nagaland thus failed to diffuse the struggle. In 1975, during the time of internal emergency under Indira Gandhi, an accord was signed at Shillong with an influential section of Fizzo's followers. They called themselves the representatives of the underground organizations and accepted the Constitution of India. But AZ Fizzo remained silent on the accord. General Thinoseli, former chief of the Naga army, says,
It was made secretly, and the architect of Shillong Accord was Mr. Yale. He came overground saying that he was contact man, and the Indian took advantage of him, taken him to peace camp, fencing with this barbed wire, guarded by the Indian soldiers. From there he made this draft and secretly sent to Mr. Zashi Hure. When Shillong Accord was known only by Zashi and those only signatories. Other people did not know.
The signatories of the Shillong Accord organized a surrender of arms by a section of the Naga underground. Several of the guerrillas who had surrendered were absorbed into the Indian military establishment. The rest were settled in peace camps guarded by the Indian Army, like this one at Kohima. The accord also said that the signatories could formulate other issues which could be discussed for a final settlement. More than 25 years have passed. Waiting still continues in the peace camps.
What is Shillong Accord? Shillong Accord is just what is precisely this: divide the leadership. You should never try to divide the leadership. I, for one, think that it was a mistake not to have negotiated when Mr. Fizzo was there. You are more keen to see that weaken Mr. Fizzo, let other groups come up. It's a rotten strategy. It's a myopic view. I, for one, would strengthen the established leaders so that if you come to an understanding with them, that they can sell the accord.
A section of the Naga National Council, which was unsatisfied with the Shillong Accord, formed the National Socialist Council of Nagaland in 1980 under the leadership of Isaac Chishiswu, Thunglang Muiwa and S.S. Khaplang. The armed struggle with the Indian forces continued under the NSCN, which constituted a parallel government of the People's Republic of Nagaland. In 1988, the NSCN split into two. The faction under Isaac and Muiwa became the NSCN-IM, and the group under the leadership of S.S. Khaplang became the NSCN-K. NSCN-IM has emerged as the more powerful and politically representative Naga group. The lives of the ordinary Nagas of the past 3 generations have been spent under the overbearing gaze of the Indian armed forces. Almost every village has a group of hostile armed personnel stationed at its gate or at some strategic point. Draconian laws like the Armed Forces Special Powers Act confer the authority to kill, search and detain with total impunity. Civilian rule has been undermined by the overwhelming presence of the armed forces in these areas. This has also resulted in grave violations of the basic rights of the people. March 10th, 1982. The soldiers of the 21st Sikh Regiment came to the village. They had a list of Nagas whom they suspected. Paul and Daniel were taken to the nearby army camp. No one has seen them since. In 1984, the Supreme Court of India awarded a compensation of rupees 1 lakh each to the wives of Paul and Daniel. Disappearances like these are not infrequent for the Nagas, but such verdicts are. The NSCN IM guerrillas raided an Assam Rifles camp near Oinam on the 9th of July 1987. 9 soldiers were killed. 150 weapons and 125,000 rounds of ammunition were taken away by the guerrillas. The Nagas of Oinam and nearby villages were made to pay the price. For 2 weeks, the people were grouped together in the local playground from early morning to late night and tortured by the army in the name of interrogation.
Oh, Janamala Della Homatorede, typing the Zipabed, the Shipamaza, typing Zipabed, Tatachibele, then a Ramon Lishisha, put on a Shia Buhama, put on it also Shiblet Abama, Ramon Lishisha, and the Jew, Vena Ahaza.
The good Tauli Pukura, the Donate Cemetery, Hulata Cemetery, Huta, and that's for Roshimeturki.
15 people were killed. Around 300 women were tortured badly. 4 of them were raped. 12 children died of starvation and denial of medical care.